everyone, this is T1D Dueling, and today we are going to be doing a deck review, and this one is pretty cool because I actually made this deck. It is a Dragons and Spellcasters. I will show you all the cards, tell you what they do. I'm not going to read all the descriptions because some of them don't even have them, but let's get right into it. And please smash that like button and subscribe, please. That would be amazing. Alright, now let's get into it. First card, Slifer the Sky Dragon. His effect is whenever a card is played, it loses 2,000 attack. If its attack reaches 0, then it is destroyed immediately. Plus, for every card that you draw with this one, it gains 1,000 attack. And now, there's another card that helps that one out tremendously. And that card is Infinite Cards. Infinite Cards allows you to have as many cards in your hand as you want. Usually, you are only allowed to have 6 cards in your hand, and then when you draw a 7th, you have to discard it. But while you have this card in your hand on the field, so in a spell or trap zone, you can have as many cards as you want. So 10, 20, however many. And that allows this guy to get a lot more attack. So that's the first 2 cards. Then there is Monster Reborn. Pretty basic. It's one of the easiest cards to understand. It brings a monster out of the graveyard, which is right there. Then we have Dragon Shrine, which allows you to search your deck for one dragon monster and send it to the graveyard. This is another spell card, Swords of Burning Light. As long as this card is on the field and you control no monsters, your opponent cannot attack unless they have 5 or more cards in their hand. If they have 5 or more cards in their hand, you must destroy this card and send it to the graveyard. Then we have 2 Swords of Revealing Light. Swords of Revealing Light makes it so that your opponent cannot attack for 3 turns. So if you use both of these at the same time, that's 6 turns. Now we're going to be doing the trap cards. Castle of Dragon Soul. Once per turn, you can banish 1 dragon-type monster from your graveyard, then target 1 monster you control. It gains 700 attack until the end phase. That's pretty much all it does. You can let me read this. You can target 1 of those banished monsters when this card is destroyed. Special summon that target. You can only control 1 Castle of Dragon Soul. Then there is Monster Reincarnation, a spell card. It means that you have to sacrifice a card, and then that allows a sacrifice card from the field or hand. Then you go into your graveyard and add 1 monster to your hand. Dark Hole. Another spell card. This card allows you to destroy all monsters on the field. When you play it, your monsters and your opponent's monsters all get destroyed. So that's pretty cool. Synchro Fusion. Now this card's very good. If this card is sent to the graveyard as a Synchro Material monster, you can add 1 spell card from your deck to your hand except with polymerization or fusion in the card name, except diffusion wave motion. So that's pretty good. Felgren Dragon. This monster cannot be special summoned except from the graveyard. So if this card is destroyed, you just have to send it to the graveyard. Then you can special summon it. Only once though. Rider of the Stormwinds. You can target 1 dragon-type normal monster you control. Equip this card from your hand or your side of the field to that target. If a monster equipped with this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage to your opponent. If a monster equipped with this card will be destroyed, destroy this card instead. So it's very useful, especially if you have the right card with it. And then we have, I believe, 2 Dread Dragons. Dread Dragon is a tuner. So is, I forgot to mention, but so is this card. Rider of Stormwinds is a tuner. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can add one level 3 or lower dragon-type monster from your deck to your hand, which is going to be very useful. You'll see in a minute. So 2 of those. Delta Flyer, a level 3 dragon tuner. Once per turn, you can select one other face-up monster you control, increase its level by 1. That can be very effective. If you need to sacrifice a level 5 monster instead of a 4, you can sacrifice that one because you can raise its level. So this card can also be summoned by this card, Dread Dragon, to your hand from your deck with its effect. White Stone of Legend, we have 2 of. It is also a tuner. It is a dragon card. When this card is sent to the graveyard, add 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hands, which is very effective when you have 1, 2, 3 Blue Eyes. So that is very nice. And White Stone of Legend, also both tuners. So that is also very nice. You can do synchro summons with that. So also the 3 Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes is just a very powerful card, no effect. Then we have, where is it? We have Galaxy Serpent, a dragon tuner. It has no effect, but it's a tuner, so I have 2 of them for synchro summoning. So that's pretty nice. Then we have Maiden with Eyes of Blue, spellcaster tuner. When this card is targeted for attack, negate the attack, and if you do, change the battle position of this card. Then you can special summon 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. During either player's turn, when this card or effect is activated that targets this face-up card, except during the damage step, you can special summon 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. You can only use 1 Maiden with Eyes of Blue effect per turn, and only once that turn. Then, Flamefell Guard, a level 1 monster with 2,000 defense, so that is amazing, and it's a tuner, so that's very good. Then we have 2 Lord of D's. While this dragon-type monsters cannot be destroyed or targeted by spells, traps, or effects while this card is on the field. So that's pretty nice. And then we have 2 Old Vincent Magicians. Its effect is target 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy that target. Only when it's flipped. So that means when it is attacked or something like that, like you flip it. Then we have another really good card, the Winged Dragon of Ra. This card cannot be special summoned. It requires 3 tributes to normal summon. Cannot be normal set. This card's normal summon cannot be negated. When normal summoned, other cards and effects cannot be activated. When this card is normal summoned, you can play life points so that you only have 100 left. This card gains attack and defense equal to the amount of life points you paid. You can also pay 1,000 life points, then target 1 monster in the field, destroy it. And I think we have 1 more Egyptian god, Obelisk the Tormentor. He requires 3 tributes as well. His normal summon cannot be negated. When normal summoned, cards and effects cannot be activated, cannot be targeted by spells, traps, or card effects. During the end phase, if this card was special summoned, and yes, this one can be special summoned. Yes. If this card was special summoned, send it to the graveyard. You contribute 2 monsters, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. This card cannot declare an attack. This effect is activated. So what it's saying is you can destroy 2 cards. Let's just say a Vincent Magician and a Rider of the Stormwind. You destroy these 2 cards, and then all the cards your opponent controls destroyed. Then we have the Dark Storm Dragon, which actually this one goes with Rider of Stormwinds. So this card is treated as a normal monster. Once per turn, you can send 1 face-up spell or trap you control to the graveyard, destroy all spell and trap cards on the field. So this card can be equipped to this one, even though it is not a normal, because it is treated as a normal, which is very, very nice. Then we have some more cool cards. Where is it? Ah, here. Lancer Lindworm. Lindworm, yeah, I think that's what it is. If this card attacks a face-down defense position monster, not face-down, a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage. 2 of these. Then you are going to need 2 cards that are very similar. Lancer Dragonaut. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. You're going to need 2 of these. Very good cards. I like them a lot. 1500 attack. That's really good. Let's move on to the next card. And that is Polymerization. Polymerization just allows you to get your fusion cards. I will tell you about this later. But, so that's very effective. And then we also have Fusion Substitution. This card is always treated as a polymerization. It allows you to use other cards for fusion material, except for the ones that the monster says. So that's cool too. Dust Tornado, you're going to need 1 of these. It allows you to destroy 1 spell or trap on the field. Final Geese. If a monster with an original level of 7 or higher is sent from each player's field to the graveyard this turn, banish as many monsters from the graveyard as possible. Then you can special summon the highest level spellcaster monster among those banished monsters to your field, your choice if tied. So that's also pretty helpful. It can also mess you up if you use it wrong though. So these 2 cards. Then, Mirror Force. If an opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls. Magical Hats. During your opponent's battle phase, choose 2 non-monster cards from the deck. Then 1 monster you control. Shuffle those 3 cards and set them on the battlefield in defense position. Name 2 cards chose from the deck are treated. Okay, wait, let me say that again. Shuffle those 3 cards and set them on the field in defense position. The 2 cards chosen from your deck are treated as normal monsters, attack 0, defense 0, and are destroyed at the end of the battle phase. Torrential Tribute. Destroy all monsters on the field. When a monster is summoned, destroy all monsters on the field. That means your monsters, your opponent's monsters, all of them on the field. None of them get to live. Magical Arm Shield allows you to take one of your opponent's monsters when your monster attacks and direct your opponent's attack to one of its own monsters. So that's good too. Then, 3 Magic Cylinders. It allows you to redirect an attack at your opponent. They take damage equal to the amount of the monster that attacked you. So let's say they have 1,000, they attack you, they take 1,000 damage. 5,000, they take 5,000. And you have 3 of those. 3 Magic Cylinders. Then, 2 Herald of Creation, Spellcaster. Once per turn, you can discard 1 card, then target 1 level 7 or higher monster in your graveyard. Add that target to your hand. So 2 of these. They're pretty good cards. Not much else to them. And for the last card that is not in the extra deck is Crystal Dragon. Once per turn, during the battle step, this card, if this card has battled this turn, you can add 1 level 8 dragon-type monster from your deck to your hand. This is a really cool card. I like how shiny it is. But you're going to need one of these. Then, let's start with the extra deck. First on the list is Stardust Dragon. 1 tuner, 1 or more non-tuners. Then we have a Zuru. You can bring back 1 normal monster every turn with this card. Then, we have not 1, but 2 Byronic Dragons of the Ice Spirit. You can sacrifice a card and destroy one of your opponent's cards. You can do that as many times per turn as you would like. And that's about it. See you next time.